guy goes, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a comedian, which was a huge mistake. And he goes, you're not. And I go, yeah, I'm a comedian. He goes, you're a comedian. Do you know Billy Connolly? And I go,
Nope.
I don't. He goes, sure you do. I go, I don't. He goes, Billy Connolly, the Scottish comedian. And I was like, I don't know him. He goes, then you're no comedian. And I go, maybe he's not a comedian if I don't know him. Apparently, he's a big-time Scottish comedian. He goes, he's the best in the world. And when I said that, he turned to my dad and he goes, you know what I think about your boy? He likes to talk shite. He likes to talk a bit of shite.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please.
Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you were.
Oh, yeah. Here we are, back with Oops the Podcast, a fresh, hot and tasty episode, joined by
baby.
Giulio Gallerati.
Julius.
Not Julio.
Not Julio.
I can't tell you how many people, when I'm on the road, come up and say, I love the podcast. I love Julio.
Bro, it's
I don't get
it. It's truly one of the most mind-boggling things in the entire world.
It's as if someone was saying, I was the biggest fan of the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s. You know, huge fan of Scottie Pippen and Micus Jordan.
Yeah, dude.
What?
I know.
How do you think you're a fan if you're not? I've never gotten your name wrong on the podcast. So if they're listening, that's just them refusing to get it right.
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, I think that somehow they think that they're saying it right by saying Julio or something. Dude, it's a crazy thing.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
It's a crazy thing.
Speaking of crazy, I was in Scotland.
Scotland.
You know Scotland?
I do.
All right.
Heard of it.
I got some stories for you, pal.
Dude, it looked like it was a good time.
It was a good time. You know, it's funny. I really did not. I have lied to myself and told myself that when I travel to Europe or out of the country, that my cell phone still behaves as though it were 2005, where you couldn't use cellular data because it was monumentally expensive. And therefore, you just didn't go on your phone.
Use your phone, yeah.
And sure, I can log on to Wi-Fi at various cafes and restaurants and things, but I'm with my dad and I don't want to be on my phone. So I just didn't use my phone, which meant that I didn't really throw up any Instagram stories or any funny things at all from when I was on the trip. And it's too bad because there were some really funny moments and my dad is unintentionally hysterical. And I could have found some really funny stuff to post about our golf endeavors. We did a father-son Scotland links golf trip, pre-wedding sort of, I don't want to call it a bachelor party, but you know, just a father-son pre-wedding. This is a big moment in life. Let's bond. And we went over, man, I got so much to tell you. I don't even know where to begin. I guess
want it all, dude.
I'll start with this. We flew Delta, and Dad got the tickets, and we got some little business class, a little swankopotamus.
Very nice.
Now it's Delta One, right? It's Delta One. Now I am working very hard for status on Delta.
Where are you at right now?
Well, I just got a brand new credit card.
Which one?
I got the Delta Amex Reserve.
The perp.
The purple. The purple nurple.
Yeah.
Yeah, purple haze, purple dreams, whatever you want to call it. I got that. Did I need it? Probably not.
I could have referred you. I wish I knew you were going to get it.
Damn. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 7,500 miles.
Still nice.
It's not bad.
I got the referral bonus from Hill Dog for it. She just got the perp.
I'm so sorry. You know, I can call them. I could call them and tell them that the reason I got it was because you told me about it.
Oh, really?
I just forgot to. Well, we could try.
That's where I don't want to make you do that.
Nope. I want to. I want to do that.
Dude, we're all wearing like a similar shade of blue to the card. Is that Ryan Ryan wanted us all to match today, which I thought was
Ryan texted
very
us on the
cute.
way and he said, should we all wear blue today or wear the same color today? And I said, is that sort of a pride thing?
I figure, yeah. That's
And I was like, shouldn't we all wear different colors if it's a pride thing?
And I just figured that maybe there was some rhyme or reason behind this, but I think it might just be Ryan being festive.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. It's almost the weekend. And that's it.
Ryan, I've noticed that today you're talking in a slightly lower like decibel level than you typically do.
Yeah, you
I
little
wonder-
Elizabeth Theranos action
Are you
there.
feeling under the weather or
My allergies are destroying me right now.
really? I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
Mm,
It's okay.
damn,
I've
bro.
heard it's been tough for people.
It's been tough.
Yeah.
It's been tough.
I
But
saw pollen flying through the air last weekend, like the fucking upside down in Stranger Things.
Oof.
You know,
Hey, quick plug. Follow both Ryan and Chris on their respective social channels. Ryan, where can they find you? What do you want them to see? Is it your TikTok? It's probably your TikTok.
you can check. Thanks. You could thank you. You could check me out at Ryan is really polite.
Yeah.
On TikTok and Instagram, and then Ryan is polite on Twitter.
He's funny.
he is.
He throws up some funny shit.
He ain't lying, bro.
And Chris is Chris MP4 on Instagram.
Chris.mp4.
.mp4 and you got a Tiki Tuna?
Yeah.
Tuna Melt?
Oh, this wire.
Yeah, follow these boys. They
Tickerson
got some good
Tockerson.
stuff. If you're a fan
Yeah.
of the pod, you should follow them.
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, head on over. You'll have a nice time.
What's your handle on TikTok?
Chris.mp4.
Oh, okay, on
It's
both.
the same thing.
Excellent.
Chris will like close friends stuff that should be given to the public.
That's
I
true.
feel sometimes.
It's true.
I'm like, Chris, let the people see the vibe check that's
Vibe
going
check.
on here.
You know what's
check.
funny? I've
Chris
been
will just
thinking about
post
that.
a fire outfit. I'm like, dog, this is for everyone.
That's right. That's right.
Show the people.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing that. It's funny you say that. I think I'm gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, no cap. No cap.
Chris abuses the close friends feature. It's like,
Chris-
show,
I use
show
it,
them.
I use it like my actual story, and then I just post work stuff.
Yeah.
On my real
Chris
story.
Yeah.
high key has great vibes.
Chris, high key.
Am I getting that
I
right?
just pounded that.
High key.
High key.
High key get it. He has great vibes.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Chris.
Great fits.
Yeah, but bro, like your whole the whole package, I feel like is part of your allure as someone like you want somebody cool making your stuff. And I know other guys who like have sort of parallel careers to you who might not be as capable as others, but they just seem so cool that everyone's like, "Ooh, I need that cool guy to make my stuff."
Yeah.
And I think that you already have that, but like I think that the close friend stuff would help your work more than you think.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it just what's the phrase? Do it while no one's watching. That doesn't make any sense in this scenario.
yeah, I think that applies to like
Yeah.
shooting free throws or something in a
That
quiet
applies
gym.
to charity or like donating money to the
or
to,
helping
like,
elderly
causes.
women
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
Acts of kindness and good deeds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to show off. I'm just being myself. And I'm self-conscious, so
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
I'm going to start doing that.
I hear you.
We'll see.
I think Julio's point is that it could actually
No, I
help
agree.
your career.
But I hear you though. Like sometimes I'll hang out with people who listen to the pod and I'll just be kind of like tired or I'm chilling and like the amount of information that they know about me sometimes can be tiring. I'm kind of like, oh man, like
yeah,
I-
we're
I'm sorry, I
relentlessly
don't want to talk about
transparent.
it
Yeah,
today.
I'm with you.
You
I'm
know?
with you. We kind of drain the tank a little bit on here.
And it's fine, but then some days I feel overexposed. I'm like, oh, I was like sharing things and now I like don't want to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody knows.
It's
Um,
so strange. This feels like a very safe place. It's just the four of us
I know.
sitting in a
The
bedroom
boys.
in my apartment. We've done this 100,000 times, and you always forget that there are people out there listening. And so to be reminded of that is sort of a strange, earth-shattering moment.
Yeah, and it's nice almost always, but then some days I'm just like, oh my god.
For God's sake, can I keep talking about Delta? It's like, well, how did we get here? Anyway,
Delta 1.
so I'm kidding.
I know, that's fine.
So I got the Delta Reserve. I currently have the lowest status. I'm not happy about it.
Silver.
Silver. I should get to gold, no problem,
Mhm.
because I'm hitting that minimum spend like it's a joke.
Already? It's high. It's kind of high,
dude,
right?
I just had to pay 2/3, the remaining 2/3 of our honeymoon deposit.
Okay. So you're
I
well
got
on
it
your way.
with one the first purchase on the credit card
You got to silver?
covered me for that spend bonus.
Nice, dude. That's great. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Fucked up.
crazy. Dude,
But
the cool thing
no,
about
that should get me to gold.
oh, sick.
But I got to get to platinum.
Yeah. I'm going to be platinum very soon too.
Are you
I'm pretty
really?
psyched. I'm only card spend away from it.
Oh my God.
I'm like $1,000 away or something. I'm gonna be So we'll probably be
I thought that
similar
to
company.
get the MQM
I
waiver,
already have that. So okay. So
you had to spend $250,000.
no for
a year.
diamond,
Oh, diamond. I get platinum and diamond mixed up.
platinum, gold, silver, all the same waiver.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know. Whatever. But
Okay.
Delta One though, the check-in is the most interesting part of it to me. I don't know what the deal was, but like the only time I've flown Delta One, there's like refreshments at the check-in counter.
Is that right?
There's like you have a special check-in area and there's fruit
Yes.
and waters.
I didn't see
and,
any
like-
fruit. I would have tackled the fruit. I would have dived. I think you can say dived or dove. I would have. No, I think it's I would have dived.
Divin.
No, yeah, that's wrong. That's dead wrong.
That's dead wrong.
Isn't it funny that with hang, the verb to hang,
hanged?
they've gotten away from hung.
I thought I was taught in elementary school that hanged was the proper way to say it.
Yeah, and do you know
Is that
why?
right or
Do you know
wrong?
a big reason why for that?
Why?
Is because to describe a man as hung, as in having a big penis,
Is that why?
became so common that they got away from it to talk
Really?
about hanging someone on a gallows. He was hung on the gallows. They don't say that anymore. And it's because people knew about the sexual innuendo.
Oh, I didn't realize that was such an old term to be hung, like penis wise.
It is. And
Crazy.
it's sort of the non vulgar way of saying it.
Crazy.
He's a well hung man.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Ryan, can you double check that for me?
Hung like
If
a horse.
they did away with the past tense of hang as hung because they didn't want to sort of cross the streams with the term we so often use to describe men with large penises. We'll come back to that in a sec. Delta One, not great.
So you had messaged me this, and I was wondering.
Disappointing.
I'm wondering to what degree it's like based on the aircraft you end up with,
It's a good question.
because I can't recall fully, but I remember there being some varying quality with like bed situation.
Yeah. So this was I think it was an Airbus 78. No, it wasn't an Airbus. It was like a Boeing 787 or something like that. So it only had Delta One and then premium economy and then economy. There was no first class, business class, premium economy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not a huge plane. As far as international flights go,
Oh, okay. Did it have the middle section?
it did, and we
Okay.
had the middle section.
Okay, but no,
And-
in coach, did it have like the big middle section?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was
big boy still.
2 or 3 seats on either side of
And
the
then
aisle,
4 in
and
the
then
middle?
3 or 4 on the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't
You didn't
look
even
in the
go
coach
back
section.
there.
Why would I? Why would I ever have done that?
You dog.
I'll tell you why
You
I
dog.
should have done it is to see how much worse their quarters were. And then while we were there, some guy came up to use our bathroom,
Son
and
of
it
a bitch.
bothered me. It
You're
really
not
did.
supposed to do that, right?
No, and it's on the flight attendants to close the curtain to let people know stay in your lane. Poor.
Oh my god.
Point is, I will say this. If you're going to spring for business class seats, it is a good idea. I think there's a website where you can actually get a rating of the seats you're choosing.
Interesting.
And it lets you know because all business class seats are not created equal. And I'll tell you why. We had the middle seats that were towards the front. We were row 2, which meant that we were very close to the bathroom, as well as very close to the galley area where the flight attendants were preparing food and drinks and stuff. And the amount of clanging and banging and shutting and shoving of, drawers and overhead compartments and all of this stuff, doors shutting in the bathroom. It was percussive throughout the flight as I was trying to sleep. To the degree that I bought,
Dude, this is like
I
insane,
know. Don't care. I bought internet look, you buy the business class because you want to sleep. That's the whole point, right?
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, the clanging and the banging in our own thing did not stop the whole flight.
But you believe that if you had been 4 rows further back, you would have.
If I had been 5 rows, if I had been in the last row in the business class, we would have been much farther away from the place where the flight attendants did that, and I would not have heard it as loudly. I'm
and
telling
the bathroom
you.
door, I'm assuming, was. But I think this speaks more to your sort of delicate sleep.
It could do. I don't know, man.
Sleeping.
I don't know, man. It was loud.
Yeah.
It was loud stuff. Think about when they shove the drink cart back in and then they close, it hits the latches. There's a lot of, it's like stomp on the plane.
And then also the flush that.
Yeah. Sucking someone out of the airplane. Yeah, exactly. All of that. And
I mean, dude, yeah, I feel like just flying, like I don't see a world where you're avoiding any of that.
there is a world. Think about this. If we had seats that were on the side, on the next to the window and towards the back of the business class, first of all, we're not encountering anybody getting up in business class to walk by us and use the bathroom, right? There
True.
and back.
True.
Okay. Secondly, weirdly, every other window seat on each side would be closer to the aisle, and then the one in front of that would be against the window.
Mhm.
And the ones that are against the window have the most privacy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, go on. There is a website that reviews rates how good the seats are. And it will tell you things like, you don't want this seat. It's close to the bathroom. You don't want this one. It's this.
Mhm.
I've seen it before.
Fair. Yeah.
You put in
dude.
your plane model and the carrier or whatever, and it tells you, it ranks each seat.
Mhm.
Okay. Second thing, right? You get on the plane. They say, would you like a champagne or a orange juice or a whatever? Fine. Very nice. Beer option.
Mhm.
They had Miller Lite. What?
Is there typically better beer?
Dude, I'm telling you, because when we flew remember when we went to Italy
Did you find like Emirates?
we flew Emirates.
Bro, it's the best airline.
Dude, I'm
ever.
telling you this. Listen to me.
Yeah, yeah.
It was cheaper. It was infinitely cheaper to fly Emirates Air business class than it was to fly Delta. Less than half.
I know, but that could go either way on a given route.
Maybe
so.
Maybe you're right. I guess that's my frame of reference,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I don't fly business class very often. And so,
It's the best first class.
dude,
Emirates is the number one first class.
The fucking the flight attendant on Emirates was a full-blown mixologist. The menu,
Shaking the
dude,
fucking
they had a cocktail menu that rivaled the best bar I've ever been to in New York City. Abba and I ordered old fashions, and the
Blue
guy
cheese
made 'em,
olives.
and they were well balanced, brilliant
That
cocktails
is funny as fuck.
in full blown rocks glasses.
That is so funny.
That's a big step up from a can of Miller Lite.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay. And then, okay, to their credit, I was like, do you have any other beer? And he was like, well, once we get to cruising altitude, we can offer you the full slate of beers.
Oh, okay.
And we got to cruising altitude.
Miller got the intro beer plug.
Yeah, Miller
They paid
was
extra for that?
was the fucking champagne / orange juice alternative. And then,
Hashtag drink American.
yeah. And then once we got to cruising altitude, the only other beer options were a Heineken or one of those Kona Brewing Company
Mhm.
longboard lagers, which actually is pretty good.
Okay.
So I had that.
Nice.
But I would have thought that there would have been like an IPA. I mean, a little bit of variety. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But the Kona, it sounds like you were pleased
Kona's
with that.
fine. I'm fine with that. But there were no cocktail options.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there was no option to get a
Yeah,
cocktail.
you need to just get like a Jack and Coke or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The menu was a single page, okay? Single page with 3 options. Some kind of short rib bullshit, a chicken entree, and then a vegetarian pasta
You
thing.
don't like it?
Not really. It was okay. I'm talking okay.
The Impossible meatballs are fucking the slap, dude.
Dude, when we
You guys
went
didn't have that
when we flew
option?
Emirates, the guy was like, would you like to eat? and we'd eaten before the flight. And I was like, no, we just want to sleep. And he was like, you should eat. He said that. He was
They
like,
just cut a
look
lamb's
at the
head
menu.
off in front of you and fucking
Dude, they were, I'm
grilled
telling
it,
you, they were,
shawarma'd it up.
they were like 10. It was a book of food
That's crazy.
options,
Yeah.
a book, a wine list with, I don't know, 20 or 30 different types of wine on it.
It's the best, bro. You know?
And then when it's time to sleep, as I told you, remember, they give you a bed pad
yeah,
to lay over your lie flat bed.
yeah.
And the bed is long. The Delta One bed, my feet were smashed against the front area.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept waking up because I would jerk and my toes would slam against the little
The
part
top
above
thing,
it.
yeah.
Couldn't get comfy. Terrible. Slept in fits and starts like it was Christmas Eve. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't really, arrive in Edinburgh, go to our house. Luckily, we were staying at a friend's house. My parents have there's these very good friends that they have that live in Scotland. They're awesome. They weren't there, so they lent us their house.
Unreal.
Which is great because then you feel like you've got a huge value from not paying for a hotel, right?
Right. So, but not to be, and if this is being too nosy, forgive me, but you're going with your dad. Your dad's theoretically covering everything.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, he
right?
sure is.
So, who gives a shit?
Well,
I know.
I like value no
nice
matter
of you.
for
Yeah,
anybody.
that's nice of
I
you.
wouldn't have been like, Dad, come on, couldn't you spend and have us stay
yes,
at a
right,
hotel?
right.
And also, I know that it means, maybe we won't feel so bad about going to a nicer restaurant or whatever,
Right.
which is important because the food in Scotland is the worst in the world.
Is it actually? It's that bad?
It's so bad that I don't know how they're alive as a country. I don't understand how they have survived as a country. Seriously.
Well, because they're not a country. If they were, then they would not have survived.
Are they not a country? They're part of England?
Part of the UK.
They're part of the UK, but they're recognized as a sovereign people, are they not?
No.
Then what is Scottish?
The different areas are sort of like have like semi-autonomy, but it's all part of the United Kingdom.
That's right.
No.
But you wouldn't call Scotland England.
No, but you call it the United Kingdom.
Would you call it Britain?
I think you'd
Great
be like,
Britain?
you'd say the UK.
Part of Great Britain.
Yeah. Or like, cause like Wales or fucking,
Yeah.
it's all that shit.
And then Ireland is independent.
Correct.
But Northern Ireland is part of
the
it.
UK. Yeah.
It's cool. It's interesting.
Very cool. But yeah,
Challenging.
dude, literally, maybe that's why there are people who die from not having enough to eat.
The fish and chips thing is nuts.
Yeah, it's all they have everywhere.
Well, it's okay. It's a piece of cod
Fried
that is
cod.
deep fried,
Yeah.
a shell, a carcass of batter. And then they serve it with chips, as they say, thick
Fries,
cut French fries, and then a spoonful or two of peas,
Oh,
which
really?
have clearly
Interesting.
come out of a can.
Mhm.
And that's a meal. It's a bunch of yellow and then some green,
Mhm.
an afterthought of green. Keep in mind, this is a country that is so green itself
Yeah.
in terms of rolling farmlands and the amount of rain and I think their ability to harvest crops. Why are there not more salads? Where's the lettuce?
Mhm.
Where are the vegetables? Why is that?
All the sheep are eating them all, dude.
Is that what it? I mean, what are they? What crop are they leaving room for that they can't make carrots and lettuce and broccolini, broccoli rabe?
Right.
Where is that
Where
stuff?
the fuck is the arugula?
Yeah, it's
I don't know, dude.
so much bread, dude. It's bread heavy, and it makes you realize why a lot of European countries are so worried about the fact that Ukraine, which is a major provider of wheat and grain to the world, is now facing grain shortages and stuff.
Mhm.
It's because so many of those countries
slow
rely
that
on
stuff.
bread in their diets. There's
Mhm.
bread with everything over there.
Right.
I don't eat bread in America.
Right.
I'll have a wrap every once in a while if I can't
You're
get a
being
bowl.
a bad boy.
Yeah, if I'm feeling like I don't want to get my hands dirty. All right. Delta One, Scotland. We arrive. We play a round of golf that afternoon. We go to a dinner.
So, okay, I want to hear first. So let's back up a sec. Your dad was like pulling some moves on the plane that seemed like they were funny. Is
It's
that
the
worth-
return trip
Okay, sorry.
that really.
My apologies.
Yeah, and I'll try to get through this as fast as possible. But because I know this is.
We do. We need some highlights, dude. We
Yeah.
need some positive things that happened on this trip.
Yeah.
Because I know there are a lot of them, and so far we have not
Yeah.
heard any of them.
We played 18 that first day. Then we played 36 holes the next day. Then we played 36 holes
That's
the day
so
after
many
that.
holes,
And then we played 36 holes the day after
That
that.
is so.
So I think we played 124, 126 holes in 4 days.
You basically played.
Your body starts to break down because you're walking the whole time, and it's windy.
It's crazy.
And some of the courses we played were hilly. We played Carnoustie, which is is on the open rota. The where the British Open is played rotates between like 8 or 9 courses.
Oh, interesting.
And it, certain the old course at St. Andrews is the most famous, where they're having it this year.
Oh, cool.
They have it every 5 years automatically there. That's
Sick.
sort of the cathedral of golf
Yeah.
in Britain. And it's a big one because it's the 150th anniversary of the British Open. So
that's sick.
all the stands were up,
Oh, wow.
and we were in St. Andrews, but we couldn't get on the old course because it's so
They're-
coveted.
Okay.
And also, the UK was closed to tourists for COVID
Mhm.
for so many years that there were multiple years of American tourists and people that make the golf tourism a major industry there, who'd been waiting, right,
Okay.
and had their trips delayed.
So there's like a huge queue now.
Exactly.
Okay.
So and they honored all the tee times from people who were canceled 2 years ago who had finally been able to come back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we couldn't
yeah.
we couldn't get on the old, but we
Hey,
played.
you've played it before, though, right?
I've played it twice.
Cool.
It's
Awesome.
historic, but it's, as far as the visuals of it, it's underwhelming.
It's pretty like open, right?
Yeah, and it's not. There's no crazy seaside views.
Right,
There's
right.
it's very understated. But the coolest holes are the first hole and the 18th hole because they are framed by the
Oh,
town.
cool.
You are playing into
Right.
the heart of the town.
There's that famous sort of like wide shot that they always have when they put the scoreboard up
Yeah,
that I have like very vividly
yeah.
burned into my memory.
I mean, there are cars that are parked 4 yards off the fairway
That's so
on the
sick.
right, and if you hit your drive to the right, you're hitting a car.
It's cool how like that's so sick, dude. I
Yeah.
love it. Very very. Cool.
But we played the new course. There's the old course, the new course. There's 7, I think, courses that are part of the Lynch Trust in St. Andrews, the town of St. Andrews in Scotland, which is home to the University of St. Andrews, which is one of the great
Great school.
universities of the world. Prince Harry, Prince William went there. Prince Harry met Kate Middleton there, and everyone goes to like the coffee shop where they had their first date, stuff like that.
Yeah. One of my boys went there too.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be sick.
It's really cool. And if you're a student or a citizen of the town of St. Andrews, you can buy a full year of unlimited golf to all 7 of the golf courses for £280.
Wow.
which is
Is that has to be like a huge draw for people?
I think some, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing. It's like $310. Keep in mind a single green fee for a tourist.
That's the exchange rate.
It's
Is that
1.2. It's
even
the
now?
lowest
That's
it's been
crazy.
in like 25 years.
Damn. Sick.
Yeah. A single green fee to play the old course once as a visitor, as a tourist, is £270.
Oh damn.
So it's roughly the same price
Damn.
for
Good.
a
I love
whole
shit
year.
like that, dude.
Well, they really encourage civilian usage of their golf courses, and they want to make them as accessible to the public that lives there as possible.
Great.
And they subsidize it by charging an arm and a leg for these
yeah.
wealthy Americans and Japanese and Korean tourists and Scandinavian tourists who come over, to do these trips.
Mhm.
And then on Sundays, the course is closed to golf, and it becomes a park that people can have picnics on
That's fucking
with their dogs,
crazy.
and their dogs run off leash
wow.
and take dumps in the middle
In
of the fairway
bunker.
on arguably the world's most famous golf course. Imagine Augusta National
That's
doing that.
crazy, bro. Yeah, or just like the Wimbledon, like the.
It's pretty cool, right?
It's just pretty cool.
So that's okay. That's golf. That's we played a bunch of these awesome courses. We played Carnoustie, Kings Barnes, the new course, the Castle course, et cetera, et cetera. I'm saying all this for anyone who likes golf out there. We had a great time. My highlight round was the Kings Barnes. The second time we played it. If you play it again in the same week, you get half the rate. This was the only round that we were drinking in because it was so slow. So I picked up a bag of beers from the the pub in the pro shop or whatever, and had a couple of beers and shot 74. There was no wind.
Is that your best? Your best?
No, I've shot 73 twice.
Not ever. I meant just like during
certainly
this time.
in Scotland, certainly in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, the best I'd shot before that was 79. Usually,
Amazing.
wind is what makes it defends the courses.
Right.
And frankly, the people of St. Andrews, the members of the Royal and Ancient, which is the governing body of sort of these golf courses and the British Open itself, they hope for wind. They hope for bad elements, because if there's no wind, the old course is actually quite easy. It's not long. It's pretty straight. The way guys hit driver now, Bryson DeChambeau could effectively pull this course apart if there were no wind.
Right.
So wind is the defense in the same way that bunkers and water might be the defense at Pebble Beach.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was no wind when we played in Kings Parts the second time, so it was actually not that hard. At least I don't know, whatever. That's the point. So, have a great time. By the last day, we played this amazing local little course out by Carnoustie called Panmure, which was very cool. They assigned us caddies who were members. My dad gets this old salty Scot. They give me a young kid.
Okay.
Who was the hottest dude I've ever seen.
He was a babe.
I don't even know.
Did you get his IG, dude?
Dude, his name is Will Porter.
Okay, that's a good name.
He's turning pro as a golfer.
Wow.
He went to the University of Chattanooga in Tennessee
Random.
on a golf scholarship.
I was going to say, I'm sure they're
He's
fucking
a
nasty.
+6 handicap.
Damn.
Do you understand what that means?
Meaning like he averages 6 under par?
Well, it's not averages. It's that I think it's like 8 out of 20 times you should shoot your handicap or something like that, which would be
so roughly
66.
Damn, bro. That's him.
Tell me that's not the hottest dude you've ever seen.
Dude, he's good looking.
You should have seen.
He
That's
looks
not
like
even a good
he
picture.
kind of looks like you, dude.
That's not even a good picture. Bro, this kid's teeth.
He looks like you, bro.
This kid's teeth, you could see them from space.
Perfect pearly
Perfect,
whites.
which in Scotland
Rare.
stands out.
Rare.
He was perfectly tan. He smelled good, and we were
Look at
outside.
that follow through, dude.
We were outside playing in pastures.
Look at him, bro. Look at him.
Bro, this guy, it took every ounce of my being
This guy
not to
fucks,
ask him,
This guy
have you
fucks.
ever been asked to model? Have you ever been asked? And he was super polite. He was gracious. He was quiet. And he's a brilliant golfer, probably the best golfer I've ever met.
Wow.
And he's doing everything he can to turn pro. And he has to caddy because the entry fees to these tournaments are like, 400, 500, 600 pounds. And it's 150 guys at his level, basically playing for a prize of $15,000 or whatever.
So what tour is he like trying to qualify for?
Well, I think it's kind of over there. It's roughly the equivalent of what's called the Corn Ferry Tour,
Yeah.
which used to be the web.com.
Web.com, yeah. One of my friends is in that.
Man,
thing.
it is
It's
a
crazy.
tough life, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there's some similarity to like tennis,
Yeah.
where it's like an individual
Futures,
sport,
challengers.
and unless you're in the top 0.01%, you're not making a fucking dollar, basically.
Yeah.
It's very hard to make a living.
Yeah.
But I wish him the best. He was absolutely incredible. I loved him. I was in love with him. And it honestly made me nervous hitting shots because he's clubbing me, and I'm like, I mean, you'd probably hit less to get it in from here.
You probably need a 7.
You don't. Yeah, it's a 6 for me, but you're probably hitting pitching wedge, right? Will.
That's fine.
But he was awesome. I really enjoyed him. And then we went to bed. We woke up the next morning and we went to the airport. Now, throughout the trip, my dad exhibited what I can only describe as a relentless and compulsive sociability. He was lobbing, let's call it 0G social alley oops. Zero gravity. Just nothing. They were floating them out there. There was nothing to them. You know, seeing a guy and at the airport with a golf bag and saying things like, "Looks like you were on a business trip."
That's a classic.
You know, looks like, and it's like we have golf bags too. So it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Just
funny.
dad nothingisms. A stick of unflavored cotton candy. You know, ceiling insulation. It was.
That's a good line though, dude. It looks like you guys are.
But he's doing it to everybody. It's like it was almost reminded me of like a nature show where it was as if he wanted to let everybody around him know that he wasn't a threat.
Right.
You know, I'm not here
That's funny.
to take your territory. I'm not here to take your mate. I'm a friend, not a foe. What can I say to establish that in the fewest words possible?
That's great, dude.
And it held us back. It adds up.
Right.
The time adds up. It's like what we talked about with your dad.
Yes, it's the same.
But your dad is doing it for it felt like different reasons.
It would be interesting to like, if this was a video game and our dads were like standing there, you know, with all the stats, it would be funny to compare the different things.
Yeah.
My dad's a real handful, dude. It sounds like your dad is too.
Yeah.
And I've met your dad. They definitely have similar dad-like qualities.
Yeah.
I just wonder to which degree one is more or less of a burden.
And I feel sort of sad to say burden. I don't know if I would say that. Just
not to me, like just a general burden. Like how much of a liability is this person?
Liability feels more spot on, and because I love my dad. I know you love your dad, and doing a father-son trip is a gift.
It's wonderful.
It is so, clear to me that we may not have a ton more of these. Certainly, as far as golf trips go.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's in his late 60s. The odds.
What year is he born?
1955.
Oh, crazy.
So the odds of us being able to, do these crazy 36-hole adventures around Scotland where they don't allow golf carts and stuff for.
Totally. He can't 125 holes.
He's limp, dude. He's limping,
bro. I can't do that now.
He's limping. I was in pain.
Yeah.
He's limping because he needs a hip replacement and just is soldiering through because he's so in love with golf and playing with me, and it just means so much to him. So
what's up with his hip?
Arthritis.
Wear and tear. Did he run?
He played a ton of sports. He was an All-American football and lacrosse player and went to Amherst and was on the lacrosse team there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm like sort of just getting mentally prepared for when they have to jam that fucking metal rod in my hip someday, dude. Just like the Andy Murray surgery.
But dude, by the time we have to have it,
I really hope you're right about
I
this.
bet you we're gonna just swallow a pill and it's gonna grow
We're
a
gonna
new
grow
hip
a new
joint. It's gonna grow in us. I'm excited.
One of those capsules you throw in the bathtub, it becomes a dinosaur.
Nothing. Exactly. Yeah, the chia pet in our hip.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. So, so let me walk you through. First of all, he did not know when he put this trip together that we needed COVID tests to return to the United States.
Yeah.
And I texted you and asked you on the eve of us leaving, the night before we flew to Scotland, do we need COVID tests
to come back?
And you were like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
But to come back to America.
To come back to America.
Yeah,
not to go,
not
but to come back.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't know that.
Mine did not either.
Yeah. And so I said, Dad, we need these. Because he had said, we don't. I checked. And I was like, wrong.
Yeah.
So we then have to, while we're over there, scramble to schedule our COVID tests for when we leave. Ends up not being a crazy problem, fortunately.
Thank God that you do rapids.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Correct.
Seriously.
And we did it at the airport.
Oh, amazing.
But we take a taxi from the house. We leave at 7 a.m. Our COVID test is 8:40.
Mm-hmm.
Our flight is 10:55.
Okay.
So we're leaving time.
Yeah.
It should be an hour to the airport. We get close to the airport. Almost the off ramp to the airport is packed
Glasgow
with traffic. Edinburgh.
Oh shit.
Slammed. So we ended up getting to the airport closer to like 8:30. Now we have 10 minutes till our COVID test.
It was crowded?
So crowded.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Insanely crowded.
How was the airport? Was it nice?
It's a European airport. I'll get into this, but it made me appreciate American airports more.
Interesting.
There's no TSA pre-check. There's no clear.
Well, yeah.
There's no way to get to the front of the line faster.
Yeah.
You have to take your liquids out of your travel kit
so
and put them in a plastic bag.
Super annoying.
You have to take your laptop out. They don't allow all these little things.
They're like really anal about all that.
Adds up to making security a way more stressful, prolonged affair.
Yeah, dude. We're spoiled here with like pre-check. Like you might as well fucking have a 10-inch cock, dude.
That's it. That's it.
Security.
Yo,
up, dude.
getting TSA pre-check and clear and then global entry and all that, just compared to what you have to go through in Europe is night and day.
Yeah.
So we arrive at the airport. Our driver says, just go through that door, turn left. Your testing center's right there, and it'll be just a 2-minute walk to your Delta check-in terminal thing from there. And we say, okay, good. So we go up to the testing counter, and the lady says, oh, you guys have your reservation with a different company. It's a 15-minute walk across the airport.
Okay.
We have golf bags. I say, we don't have time. Fuck that. How much does it cost to just do it here? She goes, 35 pounds each. And I was like, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot walk across. We can't check our golf bags. We can't check in without COVID tests.
Yeah, worth it.
So we just bite the bullet. We eat the 70-pound fee. We keep in mind, I paid for that now. So no, my dad is not just paying all
You're
this
catching
shit.
L's here. You're buying the beers.
He's not with it enough to realize how to make this happen fast enough.
Right. You made the executive decision.
This is us, because you would do the same thing. This
100%.
is us being road dog comics who fly 40 to 50 times a year, knowing our backs are against the wall here, and we need to make this happen as fast as possible.
Right. It's the passing of the torch in a way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When I was a child,
It's
my
monumental.
parents herded us like sheep.
Yeah.
And now I was herding my dad, who was trying to talk to everybody and make jokes about golf bags and business trips and even talking to the lady at the COVID counter.
Yeah.
Being like, how far are you going to shove that Q-tip up my nose? Stuff like that. You sure you don't do rectal exams?
Yeah. Dude, my dad's funny because he will not always like he'll fuck things up, but he'll still like rip on people. Like he saw a guy with like his ticket in like a folder. He goes, look at that fucking guy with his folder. What a dingus. I'm like, all right, Dad, Mr. Hotshot.
I completely agree.
So
my dad is the same thing.
It's great, dude.
So
the Q-tip jokes are good though.
Yeah. So we sign up, we get our, now they say you'll get an email.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I don't have my fucking, I try to sign on to the airport Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
that, dude.
Exactly. This is another thing,
What a
right?
joke.
You go to LaGuardia, the Wi-Fi works.
You got to get that LTE cracking, bro. $10 a day. I respect you for not doing it.
I do it as a self-preservation thing.
I know you did it on purpose. I know.
So I'm like, all right, I don't know that I can trust that my dad will get this email because he has the LTE thing going. And I just cannot leave this to chance. So I say, I need to use your Wi-Fi. Do you have it? And they say, okay, well, here, use our iPad to plug your information and sign up for this. So my dad then holds the iPad like a podium while I type with two hands to get all of our, it's date of birth, it's place of address, your passport number, all this. And this is happening in real time. And we are watching the minutes tick by. We know that we have now, I think, like 35 minutes until the baggage closes.
Oh, shit.
And we also have been told that we're going to do our test, and then it's going to take 30 to 40 minutes for the test results to come.
Damn. So
I'm aware of the clock ticking. I put in our information. They get us in pretty quick. We do our tests. The swab was a deep one. I haven't had that in a long time.
The deep swab, dude.
And I said to the lady, "Are you going deep with that?" And she goes, "Every American asks the same question." She goes, "I don't know if we're deep or if you're shallow. I do it my way, the way I've been instructed."
Are you serious?
And I was like, "All right." And it was deep. They're going deep still.
I'm sick of this gringo shaming, dude.
They're going deep. It's not just the quick little spin cycle of the inner nostril. It's septum.
This fucking Scottish oil drilling
Yeah.
instincts, dude.
They're
Just getting deep in the ground.
Etching their name on the interior of your skull. Sucks. And immediately my eyes start watering. I'm doing that weird half sneeze cough thing. She's like, "Oh, don't be a baby." Said that to me. I'm like, "Fuck you." Mel Gibson.
Don't be a
Braveheart.
baby.
So,
Dude, it's amazing.
we go to the Delta line with our bags, and we're just waiting for the test results to come. On my dad's phone, I have him keep checking his email, and he starts talking to the Delta agent, and it's a Scottish guy, older Scottish guy, portly, and this guy, I am saying, "Dad, you got to keep your eye on the ball. I need you checking your email every minute for this result." Because the guy says, "Yeah, we can't check you in until you have your results." But they're talking. My dad, then I run back to the counter and say, "Listen, you need to expedite these results if there's any way possible because we're running out of time." And they say, "All right, we'll bump you up. We'll put a press on that."
Nice.
By the time I get back to the Delta line, my dad has now told that agent about every single golf course we've played. So the guy has like an inside joke. He's like, "Maybe you've played Braids number 1.
You're like, what has
And I'm
happened
like, "Oh yeah,
in the
cool."
10 minutes I was gone?
And the guy goes, "Well, what do you do? What do you do for a living?" And I say, "I'm a comedian," which was a huge mistake.
Yeah, always a mistake.
But I was so just like, come on, let's get through it. And he goes, "You're not." And I go, "Yeah, I'm a comedian." He goes, "You're a comedian. Do you know Billy Connolly?" I go, "I
Nope.
don't." He goes, "Sure you do." I go, "I don't." He goes, "Billy Connolly, the Scottish comedian." And I was like, "I don't know him." He goes, "Then you're no comedian." And I go, "Maybe he's not a comedian if I don't know him."
Well, can we get what's up with Billy Connolly?
Apparently,
Ryan?
he's a big time Scottish comedian. He goes, "He's the best in the world." And when I said that, he
Look
turned
him
to
up.
my dad and he goes, "You know what I think about your boy? He likes to talk shite. He likes to talk a bit of shite."
He said that?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And I was almost annoyed. I was almost like, who are you to tell me I'm not a comedian?
There he is, dude.
Billy Connolly.
There
I
he
do
is.
know this guy. He's
What's he
been in a
in?
bunch of stuff. I think he's been in movies. Doesn't he look familiar?
Take
there you
that,
go.
airport guy.
Yeah.
Braids number 1.
Finally, the test results come in, both negative. Put our bags on. I'm thinking, okay, huge hurdle dodged.
Yeah.
Negative results. First of all, I was worried.
You didn't feel well?
No, I felt fine, but you just never know.
Yeah, you never know.
If we'd been positive, I'm there for another week at least. Yeah. I have a lot of stuff coming up.
Not ideal.
Then we go up to security. My dad, I go through no problem. Dad can't figure out how to get his ticket to scan.
Okay.
It's an automated turnstile. Has to go talk to someone else. In the meantime, a bunch of people file in behind us. So now there's about a 10-person buffer in the security line between me and my dad. I could wait for him, but I say, you know what? I think it's more important that I get us through, and then I can make sure I know where we need to go, what our gate is, etc. So I go through security. I see my dad. Okay. It's a metal detector, not the rotating radio wave, hands up scanner.
Not that thing. Yeah.
Metal detector. He goes in, walks in, stops in the middle of the metal detector, turns sideways and puts his hand up. The people behind him almost bump into him because they know it's just to keep walking situation.
Throws up the rock, dude.
I start laughing.
That's
I'm
great.
I'm laughing because I'm like, God Almighty, Lord help this man.
This poor guy.
So I collect my bags, and then I can't find him for some reason. And next thing you know, he's ahead of me, and he goes, "Oh, Fran," and I go, "Oh, okay, good. He's got his backpack." We have access to one of the lounges there because we have business class seats. I say, "Let's go to the lounge." He goes, "Okay, great. I'm just gonna skip into the bathroom. I'll meet you in the lounge." I go, "Okay, fine." I go into the lounge. They have a breakfast buffet set up with a granola and yogurt and a fruit thing that it's make your own. Now the fruits
Solid.
were called fruits of the forest,
Mhm.
which is a thing in Scotland, but it's raspberries,
That's what I was gonna
strawberries,
say, berries,
blueberries, stuff like that. I don't know if you know much about strawberries. They require so much sunlight to grow.
I did not know
That is not a berry that grows in the forest.
In Italy too, they have that flavor.
Yeah.
And strawberries. And I don't know if they included it.
But I don't know.
Yes.
My point being, I don't
Yeah,
know
whatever.
why they call it fruits of the forest.
Hey.
As far as I can tell, none of those, maybe blueberries,
Must
But-
be some Europe shit.
none of those berries grow in a forest. A forest is a shaded area.
Right.
It's very shady. That bothered me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
bothered
I'm trying to think. I don't think strawberry, I don't typically associate with that grouping. The like fruits of the forest.
Yeah.
In Italian, frutti di bosco
Ah,
is the flavor.
It's nice.
It used to be the ice cream I would get.
It's pretty good though.
Yeah.
When you have that, it's
Yeah.
nice.
It's solid. So anyway, I don't know. Were they fresh?
They were okay. They were okay. I eat my food. No sign of dad. I come back out. Now I'm wondering where my dad is. The flight is boarding. Okay. I go check out a duty-free shop just to compare the price
It's perfume and
of
whiskey.
Veuve Clicquot in Scotland with the exchange rate and no tax. I'm like, should I bring home some bottles of champagne? Why would I ever make my life that much harder in terms
Yeah.
of traveling?
No shot.
Yes, it's cheaper, but we don't even drink that much champagne.
Yeah.
Yada, yada.
Nix it.
Next thing you know, I get a text from my dad, or he calls me, which I could receive calls. He goes, "Where are you?" I'm getting on the plane. I'm like, "Oh, okay, Jesus." So I get on the plane. Now, our flight's 10:55. So we get on the plane. It's 10:20, 10:25. Woman comes up. Would you guys like a champagne, an orange juice, or
Miller Lite.
this time it's a mimosa? And he
Oh,
goes, "I'd
nice.
like champagne." And I go, "A little early, don't you think?" They bring us the champagne, and he says, "Let me tell you why I'm drinking champagne. And I didn't want to tell you this, and you can't use this against me, and you can't tell mom." So the fact that I'm telling it on the podcast, I hope my mom is not listening to this episode. Sometimes she turns on Oops the podcast when she can't sleep at night because it does put her to sleep. Oh boy.
That's great.
He says, "Okay, when I went through security, I had to take my laptop out of my bag, and I put my laptop and my cell phone in a separate tray. They went through the gate, the belt. I picked up my backpack, and I left my laptop and my phone. I walked all the way to the gate. It's a 20-minute walk from the security to the gate. Doesn't have his cell phone
Oh God.
or his laptop.
Oh my God.
He realizes once he gets to the gate that he doesn't have these things. He then starts jogging back.
Did you not notice that?
He sees me in the duty free.
Ah.
He covers his head so that I won't see him
Jogging
because
by.
he's so ashamed. He goes all the way back to the security. He's
With his golf clubs?
No, we had checked those.
Okay.
Right. So he's going back just to, yeah.
Okay.
And he just has a backpack.
Mhm.
And he gets there and he frantically starts asking agents, I left a laptop, cell phone, any chance you've seen it. They're like, we've got so much going on. We don't know where it is. Finally, he convinces a woman to actually help him. She starts looking around. She finds a tray that they've set aside with his laptop and his phone in it. They give it to him. He gets on the plane. He says, that's why I'm having champagne.
Nice.
To celebrate the fact that I got these
the recovery
things back.
operation.
I said, Dad, how does this happen? Is this early onset dementia? He goes, no, my mind's clear. I'm thinking about other things.
Didn't you say that he sort of does that sometimes?
All the time.
Yeah.
Julio, it's him turning to an agent and saying, looks like you were on a business trip.
Right. And
that means he no longer thinks to pick up his laptop and his cell phone. That relentless, compulsive sociability, 0G lines is what causes him to leave items which will leave him prone to identity theft.
Are you like that?
Not at all.
Not at all, right? You don't seem like a leaver of things.
I am meticulous. I am scared of leaving things. I check my space. It's happened, and that's what makes me afraid of it.
Yeah.
And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. He is, yeah. And I don't know what to do about it.
I know. There's nothing you can do, dude.
Because I'm telling him we need to hurry up. And I know that's not helping. But I say, why do you become so addle-brained and absent-minded and aloof and distracted? And he goes, well, as soon as we entered the airport and I saw how much you had your act together, I just realized I didn't have to care about anything at all. I realized you had it.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Nice,
you
dude.
know?
That's good.
So we made it home. It was a great father-son trip.
Got a W.
That's the story. I love my dad. We had a great time together. I strongly suggest taking a trip with your parents if you can, a bonding trip. But at the same time, it is very eye-opening to realize, I have to kind of be...
Yeah.
He's retired from life. He's retired from the general duties of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I also realized that as my parents get older, if they travel together, they're going to need to leave so much more time for navigating airports and getting to the airport
and steps
and baggage and all of that, because I can do it in the least amount of time possible out of sheer force of will and practice.
Yeah.
But
conditioning.
He's willing to take the scenic route at every chance.
Yeah. And I mean, you heard, like, case in point, my parents on their trips, they just had so many hiccups.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that. But it is interesting to when that shift occurs where you're now the one worrying about your parents the way that they worried about you when you were a kid or something.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
Exactly.
But dude, I feel for him on leaving. Like I don't do it much because I'm so traumatized by when I have done it. But there have been times where like I bought a Christmas gift for someone and I like was on the subway and I put it on top of the machine to like buy a ticket. And then I just left it up there.
Wow.
And like on years where I had a really tight budget too. It was just like, you hate to see
Such a kick in the dick.
So, okay. Overall takeaway from the trip. What, did you guys have any moments where you're having these like father-son bonding conversations?
Yes.
Is that nice?
Our dinners. Yeah. Were really nice. To be able to talk to my dad, just one-on-one,
mano a mano,
and to talk about thoughts about having kids and financial planning for the future and where we should try to live and where we should focus trying to save our money and spend our money, and I don't know, just hearing his way through life at this age because he remembers what it was like to be 33 and 34. You know, that's more adjacent and more recent in his mind than stories of his childhood, which, you know, I don't like when I was 7 or 10 or 15 and he would tell me what it was like. You just think at that age, my parents don't know shit.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
you think you know everything.
You're so much older than me. And now that gap has closed in a way where the lessons that he can impart on me from his 30s are so much more meaningful. And, you know, I admire the way that he navigated and my mom navigated their decisions about where they wanted to raise children, or, you know, who should, I guess, like how much to save for retirement, or when my mom decided to leave the workforce and, you know, focus on raising us, and how they made that decision together, and, you know, all those things. It just kind of it's on the horizon, I guess, in a way. So I don't know. It was cool, and especially I think for them to have seen me perform recently in Boston, and to sort of see where my career is at now, and how it's becoming more fully formed, and it's not a hobby, you know, and all of that.
Right,
and they're like, oh wow, we have real faith that you can do this now, and that this is real. You're just having adult conversations with your adult parents, and it's cool. It's powerful.
Very cool. Very cool. Dude, it's great. Love it. I was happy to hear that you guys were doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm really glad I got to do it.
It's tough too, you know, with our busy kind of like lifestyles and stuff. And it's like, it's a hustle of what we do in a way, you know, and like you take your foot off the pedal. You sometimes get afraid that you're not continuing to propel yourself forward, and you're not being competitive, but like, it's just not fully true. And it's important to make sure you take time to do stuff like this, because then one day you'll wish you did, you know?
I completely agree. And I would add that, you know, doing a thing like a golf trip with your dad, I think for me gave me, you know, the opportunity to tell him how proud I am of him. And the way that he's lived his life and raised us, and how grateful I am for all of that. Where, you know, it's in a strange way, having golf while we're walking down a fairway, it makes it so that you don't have to just look each other in the eye and be so emotive and effusive. It can allow you to convey that message. I don't know. I have not always had the easiest time speaking that bluntly to my dad. Sometimes I've written him long emails saying things like that, or you know, telling him how grateful I am for the father that he is and has been my whole life. So to have golf in a way create a little bit of ambient noise. So it's not, it just made it easier. But I'm so glad that I did say those things, you know, while he's still
totally got
his brain together.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, man. It is interesting. You like, it's just, it can be uncomfortable for some reason.
Yeah.
You know,
you're right.
To just say these sort of like, and I almost sometimes admire people who don't have that barrier as much.
100%.
I don't know what it is, but even like, dude, I'll see like a father and son walking down the street, and like a father has his arm around the son or something, and I'm like, that looks so nice, dude. But for some reason, that would just make me feel uncomfortable. But I wish it didn't.
I agree. No,
you know?
You're absolutely right.
I said, dude, so I was like a little stoned the other night, and I was talking to Hillary about this, and she sort of like didn't like realize that me saying that was like a vulnerable thing, and she kind of like looked at me like, well, what the fuck was I talking about? And like, she didn't realize that was like not what I needed in that moment.
Nothing bothers me more.
Bless her heart. Like, I don't want her to seem like some heartless. She's like not like that at all. She's like super nurturing and sweet, but she was kind of like, that would be weird. She's like two grown men like holding hands. I'm like, I don't mean like I don't literally mean holding hands. I'm just like, I'm like, I just think it's nice. Like, I don't know. She's like, well, tell him, you can call him and tell him, just call him and tell you love him. I'm like, I know, but that's like weird.
But you can't.
Hey, Dad, I love you, Dad. Like, I love my dad, of course.
You can't though, and that's what it's strange. It's strange. I don't. Maybe some women don't get this. Maybe it's a gender thing, where it's so easy for women to tell their mothers like I love you, and moms can do that, and it's more. I don't know.
Maybe we communicate better. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is definitely, I guess, that unseen barrier, I think, in men where expressing such giving emotion and all of that, for whatever reason, it's just not done as much, and it's not as easy. And again, that's why I say that having an activity like golf makes it easier, and I'm so, all of that. But dude, I know what you mean. I know what you mean when you're saying something that you think is like, I'm pouring my heart out to you right now.
Yeah, it's like uncomfortable.
And they don't get it, or they don't like drop everything and just like put a hand on your knee and be like, yes, tell me more. This is so, I've always wanted you to open up to me.
Dude, no, yeah. Like, and honestly, that isn't necessarily good. Like, that also makes me uncomfortable. Even knowing that like I have that moment, and then like my parents are going to talk about it, and then like maybe they'll bring it up again.
No,
which I don't want.
I mean with Hillary.
Oh! I thought you meant with your. Yeah.
Yeah, I want.
Oh, sorry.
When I'm telling Sierra anything that I consider to be, this is a very vulnerable, raw moment for me. She had better. Fucking drop everything.
Don't.
Do not cook. Do not pick up your phone. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You need to be a hawk, studying the freckles upon my face.
Please don't make the "what the fuck are you talking about" face.
And
please don't do that. Forgive me for sharing.
Yeah,
I'll remember never to speak to you again about anything.
Yeah, exactly. Then you go there. You're like, all right, fine. I guess you just don't want me to. All right, I won't share. I won't say anything like that again. No, we'll keep it surface level. How was your day? How was my day? Good. Blah, blah, blah.
Dude, seriously. What do you say? Should we do an email?
Yeah.
Real quick? And then move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one, this maybe goes in well with sort of with what we're talking about.
Wait, let me pause you just one last thing. I totally forgot to mention this.
No, please.
We got on the plane and
the way back.
The pilot came on, or maybe a flight attendant came on and said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a passenger on board who has a severe peanut allergy, so please do not eat peanuts on the plane today. And the guy next to me went, boo. Just sort of like to me and the next person around, not like loudly, but it was a great joke.
That is really good.
Does Hill Dog let the plane know when she gets on a plane?
No.
Wow.
She did, because she doesn't want that happening. Boo. She would have like crumbled, dude. She would crumble. But that guy, that is a funny joke, dude. Like, I just pictured that guy looking at you and being like, can't do anything anymore, huh?
Yeah.
I hear you, pal. Dude, that's fucking great. No, Hill Dog does not do that.
Got it. All right. Hit me with that email. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. This is called Getting Punished as a Child. I think this goes for okay. So I think this goes in nicely with what our talking about being raised, etc. Huge fan of the pod. Shout out Raina and Ashley, because I find you guys through their podcast. Anyway, you guys' pod is my favorite to listen to while I'm out on walks with my dog, and I tend to go back and listen to old episodes I missed if I've already listened to that week's episode. But I came upon the discussion whether or not you would spank your child, and I thought of my dear old dad. My sister and I used to get spanked as kids, but my sister's a little brat and would turn to my dad after being spanked, look him in the eyes, and say, "That didn't even hurt." She would then walk away cheerfully with a smile on her face. This annoyed my dad so much that he created a new punishment. From then on, when we misbehaved, we were told to stand with our noses inches from a wall and stare at it silently for however long he saw fit.
Oh my God.
Most of the time this would happen at home, and he would say how wonderful it was to spend time with his daughters. However, he was not afraid to use this punishment in public. For example, if we were disrespectful in the grocery store, he would find a pole for us for us and tell us to stare at it while he continued to shop. People would stare at us and wonder if we were mentally stable. This also happened in restaurants, shopping malls, etc. It was a truly embarrassing but definitely effective punishment. Wondered if you guys ever would use this alternative to spanking, or would you be embarrassed to then go get your child from the pole and have people think your child is weird? That was excellent.
That's great.
Love it.
Man, it's a really good question. I mean, I would worry that people would get mad at me for punishing my children publicly like that.
Right, right.
You know? I mean, I don't think that's abusive necessarily. It's a little bit sort of, it kind of feels like enhanced interrogation techniques.
Right, yeah.
Something that they do at Guantanamo.
Yeah, like putting heavy metal on headphones and making you listen to it.
That you could do is you could put headphones on the kid and force them to listen to like
System of a Down.
We built this city on rock and roll for like 24 straight hours. I don't know. What do you think? Would you use something like that?
I don't know, dude. Maybe. I love hearing these creative techniques. I do not like the idea of having, who knows, like this might completely change once that kid pops out, but I don't see myself like putting up with my kid being a piece of shit. I hope to nip that in the bud before it becomes a thing. So
yeah.
I don't know what techniques I will employ, but I'll get back to you on that someday.
Yeah. All right.
know?
Very good. I'm wondering, I'm curious about that other sister who got spanked and was like, that didn't even hurt. I mean, did that girl end up being famous porn star Riley Reid? She grow up to be some like dominatrix who's got a massive OnlyFans site, you know?
Dude, yeah, I know. Who knows, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very good.
All right, what do you got coming up?
Let's see. I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin this weekend at Skyline Comedy Club. Should be a blast. I'm very excited. Apparently, it's an amazing club. You can get tickets for that, francisells.com. I'm also going to be back in DC at Arlington Draft House, July 22nd and 23rd. Again, tickets for that, francisells.com.
Awesome. Okay, I'm in Seattle at Crocodile Room, July 28th. I just added Comedy House New Orleans on August 20th, 2 shows. That's going to be great. And I'm sorry that I jumped the gun on some of my other dates. I've been getting messages from people that they can't find them. That is because they are not on the website yet.
No.
I jumped the gun a little bit on that, but I do still hope to be coming to some of those cities. I will announce it formally once the tickets are available, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.